because this Shishuguti, the biggest brand Tina Besnight was Mr. Sbu's brand.
And the fact that you're developing this property, you are helping the government do or achieve its
Yes.
objectives of giving people affordable housing.
Closing the gap as
You
well in the
understand?
government.
Yeah,
That is true.
The rewards are positive, but more than anything, Guma rewards, ngiyayibona imali. Mina into engichaza is legacy, but also education. Umuntu into azifundile in the past 5 years. Ziningi, as opposed to just buying a house and owning it as an investor. But the fact that one has been a part of the process, which you guys have learned
What
so
is
much.
also nice, the title deed writes the history. Ukuthi the first owner bought this land at 200K, third owner bought at this much, fourth owner at this much, fifth owner bought at millions. So having the land under the name or the trust, we ask ukuthi it's generational wealth. As uhlezi usho Mrs. Buguti, they are no more building more lands. They are no more creating more land. This land, corner, it needs to rework for generations to come. Ekasi Noble Properties. So this is your property talk show. On my side, I have Spas and Mr. Sbu, DJ Sbu. So this is more of an intro for a property talk show. We are all going to be talking about property, but for today, we just want to talk about the journey of Ekasi Noble Properties with Mr. Sbu. I'll leave it to Spas.
Thank you, Sia. Dumelang Bacholo. Mapeseka Mojaki here from EN Property Development, formerly known as Ekasi Noble Properties. Obviously, we'll talk about the history, and the journey, the successes. I can't wait to have Mr. Sbu and we just have a good chat about everything. So welcome, Mr. Sbu.
Dumelang Bacholo, Sanbonani, Sbusiso Leope Nkosi, ngisebenzisana ne-Ekasi Noble Property Development. As Spas is saying, it's now EN
Property Development.
Property Development.
It's still the same, but E stands for Ekasi, and then N it's Noble. So we just cut it Ekasi Noble, and then we just said EN Property Development. Yeah, it's still the same. So what do you have to say, Sia?
No, because currently now we are in Robin Park. So our first development was in By DDi, where we got it. When we got it in By DDi, the plan was to do a rezoning within a space of 15 months. But along the journey of us doing a rezoning, we got a number of objections from the area because abantu on the area they really didn't understand the concept that we want to do. So I mean, if you are saying you are building an private estate where you are helping abantu who are blacklisted, automatically on another person uvele abon ukuthi meaning it's gonna be in squatter camp and so and so. So we got a number objections, just simply because they wanted to understand more of what we are building, and it is quite been a long journey. And I think when we met Mrs. Sbu before we got in the objections,
Let's talk about that.
which was 2020. If I'm right, it was 2020. Uguti, we should come and work. He tried to push this thing. The plan was very to do 15 months, but when we got a number objection, things quite delayed. We lost our client, some refunded, but abanye today basesekhona, which is currently now, at least we did get our approvals, and then we are currently working with E333 Engineerings, who are currently now busy doing your civil engineerings and so and so. So things are quite looking good. But now we were waiting for the service levy agreement so that we can be able to kickstart that whole journey. Because abantu, and I'll say there is not much education in terms of the rezoning process. There is so many departments that we need to go through before we can even break ground. So with the objections, yes, I've been a setback almost for 3 years where we couldn't do anything. But once we were done with that, currently we were doing civil works, checking the sewers and everything. But also that process is now done. But now we are waiting for the municipality to sign off everything, which no, we are agreeing everything is good. So in that process, while we were waiting for payers, we said no, let us look into other small developments, which it was Robin Park. Nakona, it was supposed to be quick in and out, but we got in some challenges that we had to face, your geotech and so, and having to deal with all the departments. It is a quite a process because as we have Mr. Sbu on board, we could not risk to break an image yakhe ukuthi we are the people abazoqala into, and then when things get harder we all need to pull out. So Robin Parkner, it took us almost 3 years getting our AMA rights and everything. And then today, Robin Park, I would say, is 90% done.
Okay, so Nina, I just wanted us to explain ukuthi, what is Ekasi Noble Properties? Where did we start? How did we meet with DJ Sbu? You know, because like you are saying, ukuthi, if it was some other people, mhlawumbe, yes, we could have dented his brand or his image. But I wanted to talk about the exciting part, ukuthi, what is Ekasi Noble Properties? So Ekasi Noble Properties is a property developing company, right? So what we do is we buy land and then we rezone it. Basically, we prepare it to become a private estate. And the industry that we are in, it is mostly dominated by abelungu. Do you understand? So it was very rare to find like a black developer, and I think that's why it was difficult for us to make it, especially for one of our development in Maldersdrift. But I'm excited because of the journey that we've had. There was obviously a good things and some bad things, but the good things that we learned from the bad things. So I'm excited because when we started in 2020, we obviously bought the land, we made the offer with the seller, and everything was great in terms of buying the land. We paid off the land, we started doing the rezoning process, everything was great. And then that's when I think we saw Mr. Sbu and we're like, you know what, I think Mr. Sbu can definitely relate to what we are doing. And that's when we came to you, Mr. Sbu. So please do introduce yourself and welcome you, kahle kahle.
No, ngiyabonga kakhulu. Igama nguSbusiso. I'm an investor on different opportunities. Business-wise, I'm involved in media and broadcasting. My investments stem from media and broadcasting. I had a radio station which I ran for a couple of years since 2016 with my business partners. Sadly, we had to shut it down, a massive matter due to COVID and not making money. And sometimes in business, you have to cut your losses and move. And we had a funder which had borrowed us money, business partners. And unfortunately, because you know how business, sometimes you do well, sometimes you don't. When you close down a business, when you have gotten a loan, we had gotten a loan of around 20 million, and we are still servicing that loan. Sadly, that business did not go well. Obviously, we moved on to podcasting and growing the Hustlers Corner network. So those are some of my investments in the media space. And then I'm diversified between manufacturing. We manufacture energy drinks. We manufacture them in Gauteng. Our manufacturing plant is currently based in Heidelberg. and we've done very well. We've started a business which was really hot in the beginning, which is energy drink sector. That category was a growing category. There was opportunity to get in there, but little did I know how difficult it will be to get into shelves and get shelf space into retailers, etc. And then stemming into property, when I met you guys in 2020, I had been investing in property by maybe buying a house here, buying a house there, owning a house or two or three over the years, but I had never thought ukuthi one would get into property development at this stage. I always thought ukuthi, one needed hundreds of millions to become a property investor. I think when you guys, when we joined forces, you opened up my eyes to the opportunities that are out there as far as property is concerned. And that's why I'm here. And I'm very excited with the ups and downs that we've been through. But I'm very blessed to have achieved everything we've achieved with you guys, and I think the future is bright. It's not easy. It's difficult. It's time consuming. It requires a lot of patience, but it's an educational journey. Just like when one got into energy drinks, it wasn't easy.
Exactly.
I knew nothing about drinks, and I knew nothing about energy drinks and manufacturing. But finally, we're also now starting to see the light to manufacturing. We're doing very well. Even in property, I think manje seyaqala kuyajabulisa ukubona, like for example lapho esishuthela khona manje.
Exactly,
Okuyisiganga la literally 2 years ago. So it's nice ukuthi we are sitting in one of our houses,
No, that is great. I love the fact that you are talking about the property. Abantu abayaziyo ukuthi you just buy one property, and then I think that's the most common property industry that people know. Where there's real estate agencies, 20 years and all of that. Honestly, I think we're one of the first companies that are actually doing it in the property development way, especially from Ekasi. So it was really exciting when we met you, Mr. Sbu. I think a lot of things started to make sense, even though we were already in the pipeline and almost done with the processes. And I think it's really exciting, Namanje, because we are sitting in one of those properties that we built from scratch. And you've been there from day one. I think that's what it makes me proud. Today we are sitting in this property that we developed and then we had to build, and here we are today. So it's interesting.
Yeah, with all the challenges, and I always say to abantu ukuthi Robin Park was more like a learning curve to all of us. Because also, we wanted to assist the communities, but now, down the line, we okay, things are much more expensive than we thought, especially for here in Robin Park. Just to put sewer, water, you are looking about 130,000 per stand, and you get to understand, okay, this is the reason why banks and so they are quite expensive. So as much as you want to help on giving affordable properties, but services are just expensive because those guys, Bona, they do not want to negotiate. Like now on our not riding development, that Abantu have been talking about, there is a road that we need to do. I think it's about from the site, Mrs. Sbu, going to the main road by the Celebration Estate. The rough cost just to build that piece of road, we are looking at about almost 13 million just to do that road. So we, as we get to learn the right way of doing the development processes, Siyabonga ukuthi okay, ama prices, they are a bit expensive, especially if you wanna build an asset, if you wanna build an private estate where the banks are currently involved and everyone, things do quite get very expensive. And then we did get a lot of people saying, no, what you guys are busy with, it's just not gonna work. But what was very important, it was because we have most like putting our lives on the line. Uguti, this thing definitely has to happened. And then West Part, I think by the Mr. Sbu took the most biggest risk because having the brand Yak as DJ Sbu, having the Mofire brand, it was literally a risk of losing everything that a person has worked for. So that logo did motivate us to go to, okay, as we have started this thing, it did turn out very difficult, but we told ourselves, we have to push this thing. We need to deliver what we have promised to people, especially payers not DL, having objection for 3 years, meetings back to forward, investors that you have promised to go to know this thing is definitely gonna work out. I think last month when my client, I was a payers not DL, they were choosing their stand. One client said, Nasia, my wife even went to school and graduated, and
Yes,
we are literally
waiting.
still waiting. But actually, no, it's literally now at the final phases because this Shishuguti, the biggest brand Tinabesna, it was Mr. Sbu's brand, and we didn't want to damage or do anything. So things did get very difficult, and there was a point where a person feel like Yazin, I think we are literally at the wrong place. But looking at Abantu and the amount that we have invested into this, and it is not that the process was not being followed, but the process was just made difficult.
But I just want to know, especially from your side, Mr. Sbu, like, what made you to say yes to us? And also, while we were going all through these, the journeys and everything, what was going through your mind? I know there's a lot that happened. Obviously, you always tell us about your other business partners in terms of Bebanga Funi and whatnot. But what was the thing that made you to say, yes, I'm doing this, especially if you're doing it for the people? Like, what's the interesting part about it?
I think the value proposition was different. That the business model was accommodating abantu aba blacklisted.
Yeah.
That was very attractive for me. But the how part, how are we going to handle this? Because that space is also regulated. Not only the property space,
Yeah.
but anything that is to do with money. You've got the government as regulatory institutions that are
Yes.
involved in regulating anything that is to do with money. About FSCA, about National Credit Regulator,
True, yeah.
and anything that is to do with helping abantu aba blacklisted has to go through them, or you need to, or any one person in your team, if not your
Yes.
company, has to have an FSP license, or has to be people that are accredited as far as finances are concerned. I think what gave me comfort as well was the fact that we're transparent in a process. We're involving our lawyers, and the money was not being touched by any of us. It was sitting in a trust account, and every expense was accounted for. I think that gave me a bit of comfort, but obviously it's also risky to get into business. It's not an easy thing, because people then tomorrow can wake up and or for whatever
Exactly.
reason. But for some reason, I believed in it because of the model and explain this is how we're going to do it. Although in the beginning we did not find the actual right partners. People always say you have to kiss frogs until you find the right partners. It's not only in a personal relationship, naku business kunjalo. You might work nabantu bak disappoint, but eventually you'll find the right people. I saw the vision, I saw what you guys wanted to achieve, and I believed in it. Yes, it became risky, and when it took long, abantu that complained, they would DM me all the time. I mean, I still get
Yes.
ama DM namanje, although it's better
Absolutely.
than it was before. I think kona manje abantu they can start to see what we are here to stay. I think bayabona nezinto esesizakhile so far, although we are getting better with each and every house that we are building. Eqaleni nathi senza ama mistakes. But I really, for some reason, there was just that belief. This thing is possible. It can be done. Because I always also have done other things before, zingakaze zenziwe abantu abaningi, and it's always been risky. And there's always been multiple times, Nati, where we kind of felt like giving up. even Nago radio station, I did not want to give up, It's just my business partners, and the bill just started getting higher and higher every month. The more you keep on running. And at the time, we did not even know how long COVID was going to last. And we eventually shut down the radio station. But imagine if we didn't close, how far we would be in a massive metro, Konamanje, because it was an online station. And at that time, internet was not as big as it is, Konamanje. We would be very far, But obviously, we ran out of money and we're 70 imali abanye abantu. Namanje, what I like though in property, ukuthi, whatever happens, the refund policy also gave me comfort. Ukuthi abantu nabangasi satisfied, Ekasi Noble Properties does commit to ukuthi izobanikeza back imali yabo. As there have been many people who have been refunded who along the line baye baphelela inhliziyo ukuthi no, we've been waiting for too long, we want our money back, which is fine. People have gotten their refunds, although at some points we've had others who would complain for whatever reason, because I guess in business that's what you do, you're solving problems all the time. It's not a smooth but in a smooth journey to success. It's basically now you're a business person, you are employed, you are employing yourself to solve problems every day.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's what we've been doing since day one. So those are some of the things that gave me comfort. So the business model, the unique offering, your abantu aba blacklisted, and the fact that us as a collective, we will be raising money to be owning the land,
the property.
I mean, land, even if a mistake, if the land is on our side, whatever, even if it can take long, like even now, I thought by the time we would have built, we would have finished. But no more to fast, the fact you are own
it's a lot.
It's a legacy.
But
especially
I think we've done so well,
for payers, Mrs. Sbu.
The value right now
At
is
the time we met, there was no ownership. Sipushile, the ownership, there was no rights.
The approval.
So now I think that the value has went triple than what it was currently was when we have gotten it, because it was agricultural. Currently, manje, it's residential with 222 stands and 120 apartment. And I always tell abantu it's taking long, because what we don't want is to bypass and then Tina City no, because we are owning the land, go and build. And then after building, municipality comes with TLBs, comes and demolished, then that becomes another big problem. So it was always good to have the refund policy. Okay, once you born, the process is now not taking on your time, you are more than welcome to pull out. But those who have chosen to remain, value keeps on going up. Like our first group of investors, I think by come on board with about 80,000, and currently now when they want to sell, they cannot sell nothing less than 350K. So as much as it took long, but the value has been going up, because we have been working on the land.
And 5 years later, Mr. Sbu, we are still here together,
which is beautiful. And that's what business is
amazing.
about. It's about the consistency, about standing the test of time. The other side of the coin, so the one side that we spoke about a few minutes ago, is that it was even risk-given for me as an ambassador or as a public figure to get involved. You risk big, you win big. We risked big fire, and now we're doing well. And I wouldn't say, hey, we are winning big, whatever. But it's nice because now it's a legacy. It's a recognizable brand. So much so that even I'm a 2000 Batak say, which is fine, and I understand that. But it shows the way success yakona abantu abaningi bangayikholwa ngakhona. Akusakholwa nokukholwa nokuthi umuntu omnyama,
No, and the
which
job
is the
creation, Mr. Sbu, like the good things that Mofa is doing, the employment rates, at least we see, which you've done well.
And Siyabonga,
Yeah, no, that's great.
Same njengago property as well. You risk big, you could have easily, like my other peers about industry, they get offered money all the time to endorse certain developments, do adverts and do whatever. You get offered 1.5 million lapayana, 3 million lapayana, and it's fine. I mean, you can either go for those monies or you can risk big and say, let me risk big and work with these people and create a development together. You risk big, but the other side of the coin says, whatever happens now, here you're owning an entire development, about 200 and something, and then you're in partnership with everyone. Of Uputsia Nagati, the value even triples. It even 10x's, more than tripling.
Like 200%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even more,
Yes.
because this is property we're talking about. And the fact that you're developing this property, you're helping the government do or achieve its
Yes.
objectives of giving people affordable housing.
Closing the gap as
We
well in the
understand.
government.
Yeah,
That is true. Eh?
The rewards are positive, but more than anything, Guma rewards, ngiyayibona imali. Mina into engichaza is legacy, but also education. Umuntu into azifundile in the past 5 years. Ziningi, as opposed to just buying a house and owning it as an investor. But the fact that one has been a part of the process, which you guys have learned so much.
That's good.
And manje I've also learned ukuthi lezi ganga, when you are driving from province to province, those are private land.
Private properties.
Those are private properties, hectares of lands. And what is also nice, the title deed writes the history. Ukuthi the first owner bought this land at 200K, third owner bought at this much, fourth owner at this much, fifth owner bought at millions. So having the land under the name or the trust, we ask ukuthi it's generational wealth. As uhlezi usho Mrs. Buguti, there are no more building more lands. They are no more creating more land. This land, corner, it needs to rework for generations to come. Like this estate, it's a Mall of Africa.
Which one?
In Nasekhayalam. Waterfall. Bane 99-year lease. After 99 years, they take back their land. They give it to the next generation to do the same thing
And
over
those are
and
the
over.
things that people don't know about. Because I think that's also a topic for another day in 99-year lease. Because people bought, and they didn't understand. I mean, they still don't understand. But like I'm saying, it's a topic for another day. Mina, I just want to know, Mr. Sbu, what were your highlights? Go Ekasi Noble Properties, like the exciting parts or the exciting times, the successes that we had. What's your exciting ones or your highlights?
I mean, I think ukuvula abantu ingqondo ngeproperty, ngokubaluleka komhlaba, and the fact that you can actually rezone land from agricultural to residential or commercial, subdivide it, give people an opportunity to come on board as investors, and also be transparent with the process. My highlights were not necessarily the wins. My highlights were the difficulties.
Nice.
Because I love going through hurdles of difficulties, because that's when you learn the most. It's the same thing now, Chima. The more inzimbi zinzima kakhulu, the more lento yenzayo isebenza. So it's the same. The more we experience challenges, the more we learn the most.
That is true.
When our investors were tugging us, those who were pulling out, who were threatening to go write negative stuff
on social media.
I mean, I wouldn't be scared. Anyway, But all of this, how we were able to deal with them also.
And we overcame everything. Mr.
Yeah,
Sbu.
we always, business, that's what you have to do. You don't run away from the problems.
We've gotta prove
you
out.
face the problems. You make the clients eventually, or your customers eventually, understand what you are trying to communicate or what you're going through.
All along.
Noma bangakwata kanjani, your job is to make sure you eventually make them understand. Even those ones who don't understand, who want their money back, I like the fact that we were able to refund abantu.
That is great.
It hasn't been easy, but it's beautiful and it's worth it. Even those ones who were saying to us, Uti, they've waited for too long. You can wait for too long, but it's worth it eventually. Because no more uzoshona uyishiye la investment yakho ebantwaneni bakho. It's always worth it. I find njengemoto, or ezinye izinto eziyama liability. So ngothandile kakhulu umsebenzi esiwenzile. Nami ngiconywa abantu abaningi ukuthi singene kule space esikuso, sivule abantu ingqondo zokuthi bangene ku property. And I think another thing engithandile ukuthi we are open to our collaborations. We collaborate nabanye abantu who are in the space, abo witness Mtaka in the space who's also preaching the similar narrative.
Yes.
Abo Percy Singo, we are preaching the same narrative. Abo Sis Nicolette Mashele, preaching the same narrative. Abo the Money Republic, Abo Putsiboni Swamchali. Spanning in the space, and we are starting to see more voices.
Exactly.
Our Bandaba Mnyama who are speaking this language that we are speaking. So the fact Yoguti, we've become part of the solution in the black society. I love that. For me, those have been some of my highlights.
No, that is great. Yeah, what excited you most about our journey? I mean, we're so funny right now.
Yeah,
All the
it's,
properties.
I think every day has been exciting because you know, with every day it's literally a war.
But we are tired of the fights now. We have
No, no,
overcame
no.
it now.
I'm not war is going to fight, but you know, in
Yeah.
property, having to deal nama department our over 20.
Maningi.
As we look at our geotech here. We had to take ourselves now, Mr. Sbu, and go to the geotech
Pretoria.
offices, where I don't even think there's many people know what there are those offices. Yithi futhi sambile saya e-GRA
Yeah.
when everyone said no, you can't enter
And
those
we
offices
entered.
because there's millions of people there. Uzothi uyo Funaban. But we literally went there, we got help. So it's just an exciting journey.
Yeah.
And also having to deal with the pressure a public. I mean, we are trying to make sure we make the property investment ibelula kubona, but yet at the same time we need to prove to them to know really we can be able to do this thing. Like now we are literally in Robben Park, and very many people said no, this is not gonna go
And
forward.
it's done,
But
eh?
today everything is
The
done, so I'm
roads are
truly
done.
grateful about the journey. And I only can say with the future is definitely looking bright with the experience and one of the most important thing is putting a brick at not riding and payers not here, because those people they have been waiting for that. I think today it's a
It's 5 years with
5
them as
years
well.
with them, but it's good the journey is done. And now it is a matter of getting those rights for amanzi and electricity, and then we start to build.
Yeah, no, this is interesting. I think just to close it off, obviously we'll have more of Mr. Sbu and us talking everything property on our podcast, of course. So if there's anyone who's interested, they can obviously follow our channel on YouTube, subscribe. Mr. Sbu, how do you want to close it?
No, Lewila Holo for people trusting us with their last hard-earned money for their children. Thank you for Tsepa. Lord Lelona Ninzelise show, but I'm glad that Khona Jwanong, you are proud of the fact that you betted on a horse that is finishing the race. We are finishing this race, no matter how difficult it is. We are conquering, we are overcoming our challenges, and we are humble students of the journey. We want to learn, we want to be friends with the government, with the municipalities. We want to learn and be obedient to the laws. We want to adhere to the laws, and we are looking forward to launching our estates and our developments. And thank you very much for trusting in us. And may you see good returns on your investments. And I'm glad that at least we are starting to show results of what we did promise.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.